What's going on, everyone? So, the starting unit, right? Luka, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes. It's something that I've been kind of expressed my concerns with. Wouldn't really say critical because they have been good. I have some concerns, and we'll touch on those here in a moment. And there has been thoughts and questions of a lineup change, right? Just having better balance. Right? I've even talked about even as great as Austin Reeves has been, and he has been he's been operating like he's our number one option, right? Like he has been ridiculous these last like 30 games or so, right? But again, Luka likes to get going early, particularly in the first quarter. And we've seen Luka kind of have his struggles the last few games with Reeves being more aggressive, which I love and I need to continue. Right? Luka's going to have to figure it out. The best version of Austin Reeves is the aggressive, looking to be in attack mode, looking to get downhill, right? Scoring Austin Reeves. That's the best. It's even when he had his inconsistencies and stuff, and I was critical of Austin Reeves, that was my main criticism, was like, he just will settle at times and just, he's like 0 of 5 from 3. And then you look up and he's like 0 of 8 from 3. And it's like, dude, like they can't stop you. Go get a bucket, right? And you've seen that version recently and he's been at it. But again, Luka likes to get going early. So there is this argument to be made of like, can LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves, can they kind of coexist? There are still kind of like, it seems like two guys are really there on any given night. Right? Like Luke will have a really great game in Reeves, or LeBron will have a really good game in Reeves, or, Luke and LeBron, right? Like it's just, can all three do enough on a nightly basis, in particular the defensive side of things, right? And then also Rui Hachimura. You have Rui Hachimura where it's like, yes, he's great offensively, but can he defensively pick it up enough to where you can defend? My biggest concern is not so much the regular season, it's the playoffs. You can outscore teams in the regular season, right? Like you just need to be serviceable enough defensively with the type of offense the Lakers have. They're going to win more games than not. Something I've always talked about. But you run into that team and you can't get stops or the offense dries up, what do you do? Right? And that's something that I had concerns with. I said the same stuff last season. We ran into Denver. And when the offense was cooking, we're up 20. We're killing Denver. It is looking beautiful. We're about to coast a sweep. And then every single time we hit that wall in the third quarter and they ran through us because we didn't have the defense to stop them or slow them down. That's where my concerns lie, right? You're not playing bad teams or, every night you're going to be playing a good team that is going to attack Luka. It's going to attack Reeves. It's going to attack Rui. Right? And you don't have Anthony Davis backing you up anymore. You have Jackson Hayes backing you up, or you're going small ball, or like all these things. Like I have concerns come playoff time, right? And so one of the things that I've talked about is, do you go Austin Reeves, Jordan Goodwin, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes for the better balance? Now you have those two dirty work guys, 3-and-D style guys that can just do a little bit of everything. Jordan Goodwin shooting 42, almost 43%, 42.9% from three-point range for the Lakers. Dorian Finney-Smith has actually been very good. He's shooting over, I believe, 50% these last 7 games or so. Right, he's really starting to get comfortable. And he talked about hey, I realized that I'm so wide open. I can take my time. I don't have to rush my shot, right? And then now you have those defensive pieces to pair alongside Luka. So now he can get going early. Now you have Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and then if you wanted to, Alex Lynn, or you could just go with that 9-man rotation, right? Boom, there you go. There's the rotation. However, the Lakers, the numbers don't lie, right? Stats don't lie. Doesn't matter what I think. Doesn't matter what anyone thinks. What did the numbers say? Numbers say when Rui's in the starting lineup in particular, the Lakers are 10-4 this season so far, or since February 3rd. So since February 3rd, the Lakers are 10-4 when Rui Hachimura is in the starting unit. And a lot of that is the offense generated, right? Rui is shooting the ball very well this year, and it gives you that shooting threat. And he's hit big shots, and he's, consistently knocking them down. When he came back from injury, he had 2 games or whatever, but he's been right back into the swing of things, knocking down shots. And then you have Reeves being aggressive, and you have Luka and LeBron, and then Jackson Hayes is the lob threat. Your offense, there's just so many weapons and so many things you have to be concerned and weary of as the defense that it's so hard to contain. But again, my concern lies in the playoffs, right? Lakers had like an 80% win rate with Rui Hachimura last year in the starting unit, right? Lakers were running through everybody with Rui in the starting unit, right? And then we got to the playoffs. You ran into Denver, and that reality kicked in very quickly. And you could argue, or at least my counterpoint argument would be, D'Angelo Russell isn't Luka, which is the biggest argument there, right? And Austin Reeves is back to being Austin Reeves that we knew from the emergence. He's actually better because he has a better understanding for the game. He has more experience, right? He's older, right? More mature, right? So you have a better version of Austin Reeves, right? You have a better version of the Austin Reeves that even helped you get to the conference finals 2 seasons ago. Because Austin Reeves last year was not this good. He wasn't. Even in the playoffs, he wasn't very good. Shot like 30% from three or something off the top of my head. He was not very good. I think it was 28% from three during the playoffs, right? Well, now you have this Austin Reeves who's just cooking everybody right now. So the offense overall is better. Yes, Jackson Hayes is an Anthony Davis, but Luka with the points and assists just kind of generates and can control the game. And once you get to the playoffs, LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka, their style of play is so much better suited because the game slows down. It's more of a half-court game, right? So that's why Luka, how many times have we seen Luka essentially by himself beat teams he had no business beating, right? Full healthy Clippers, with Kawhi, Paul George, where they're at like the peak of their powers, and he just ran through them. OKC last year, ran through them, right? Because again, the game is playoffs in particular is tailor-made for Luka. So there is that argument of like the offense isn't going to be as bad for one, and it's not going to be as stagnant and all that stuff. So there is that. But again, you still got to be able to get stops. Will the starting unit be able to generate stops? But it's so hard to deny all of the numbers, right? It's hard to look at what Austin Reeves is doing and how good he's been playing and go, as a reward, buddy, we're going to have you come off the bench and be the sixth man. Thanks, right? It's also hard to be like, hey, Rui, you're not going to start for us because, we want to have better balance and defense in the starting unit, right? To get off to better starts and stuff like that, right? And it's just like, or in particular, third quarters, right? Okay, well, the numbers say you shouldn't do that. The numbers say that we win when that happens, right? So again, it's hard as a head coach and JJ to go like, we need to revamp this starting unit. Now, Lakers' biggest problem has been third quarters, right? Third quarters have just been brutal for the Lakers. So I do think that there is an argument to be made. Like you can stick with the starters, but then maybe roll out a different unit in the third, right? Maybe do something where, maybe you're closing strong with Austin Reeves and having him kind of play, in the thick of the second quarter, the back end of the second quarter, and then start in the third with, say, Luka and LeBron, and then Reeves is coming off the bench to close out strong in the third and then lead you into the fourth and then, kind of scatter the minutes rather than change the starting unit, right? Like, I don't hate that idea, right? I might actually make a video kind of diving into that a little more because I do think that that's something that makes a lot of sense. But again, it's hard when you're like looking at like, Rui misses a game, we lose. Comes back, we win, right? Like we lose a game right before he gets back from injury, right? And then, it's just like every time he's in, we win, right? Or more often than not, but every time he's out, we lose. Or if he's, off the bench or whatever, right? And it's just like Lakers, because he is very versatile, right? But more on the interior, right? Like you see more often than not, Rui's defending the center. Jackson Hayes is kind of the scout man, right? He's playing the free safety role. So you have Rui who just has that size, but also Lakers, you see, kind of have to pack the paint and then run out on shooters, right? So you're exerting a lot of energy and stuff, kind of running around and doing that. But, again, it's hard when the numbers don't lie, is the point. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that, look, the numbers say Rui has to stay in the starting unit, right? You got to keep Rui in the starting unit, or do you think no, he's got to go to the bench. You got to go with Dorian Finney-Smith, right? As long as he's in the game and on the team. Because, to be fair, he has had some games where he hasn't started and the Lakers have won. So, can they kind of find that balance? We'll see. Time will tell. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.